This is Transformers 96 here with another video, and we talk about a newly shown San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Hot Toys, and this time it's from Black Panther, and it's Chaka, of course, T'Challa's father. So this is quite an interesting one. I certainly would have never expected to actually get this character in figure form from Hot Toys especially, but here he is. As you can see, I think that he's mainly kind of like a redone version of the Civil War costume. I think that it's like the Civil War costume body-wise, with a new helmet, with the kind of a tribal scarf and skirt piece, and then pants, and then one bracelet. So I think that's essentially the thing. It's kind of like a more tribal version of the Civil War costume. So, I think this is quite interesting that they actually made this character. I do like the character in the movie quite a bit, but I don't like him in the way that I would want a character as a figure. I like him for more of how he's seen by his son and how that affects his son's story arc. I don't really necessarily think that this character needs a figure. I think that the suit's interesting. I like the mixture of like the tactical stealth version, or the tactical stealth pieces, along with the tribal more effect pieces as well. I think that kind of looks neat together, and it kind of shows this is like the perfect representation of Wakanda. It's a kind of a tribal nation, or at least it has lots of tribal rituals, and because that's their background. But it has with the I was gonna say Antimanium, with the oh goodness, I'm blanking on the metal. Oh, this is going to kill me. But with the metal that they have, it obviously has a lot of technological advances. So this suit is kind of a representation of both of those sides of Wakanda. So I think that is quite interesting. But overall, I do like the figure. I think it does look nice. It has some gold pieces, of course, where the silver used to be. I think the helmet looks really nice. I kind of like those two teeth at the bottom. I think that looks quite neat. And the tribal pieces, like the skirt and the scarf section, I think that looks quite nice. I think that in person, I hope it looks really good, though. Like in these photos, it looks nice, but I do worry that maybe in person, it'll look odd that he's like got this, kind of really dark black suit, and then you have this like really big splash of obnoxious color on him. But I think that that's not going to be an issue, because in these photos, it looks pretty good. So yeah, I do also like the pants. I actually think that the pants are interesting. That's something that I wouldn't have thought that I'd like, but I like the pants look. That's something I really didn't even notice that he was wearing in the movie. But he's got like pants on, and I think that it does look quite nice, and it kind of gives him, it kind of bulks up his thighs a bit, which I think looks cool and just makes it a little more visually pleasing, and not just so much like somebody in a skin-tight black suit. So I do kind of like that quite a bit. As far as what he comes with, he doesn't come with a whole lot. You get the figure with a set of really simple hands, same hands that came with the Civil War version, and then a new base. Not even a backdrop, because both Black Panther and Killmonger, they both came with backdrops, and unfortunately this one doesn't even come with that. So he's pretty low on accessories. I think a head sculpt of T'Challa would have been really necessary, considering in that scene, I mean, basically, like right when he gets in, he takes off the helmet very quickly, and then it's just T'Challa. I don't even think he puts it back on before he kills Killmonger's father. So I think for the majority of the scene, he's just, he's not wearing the helmet. So I do like the helmet quite a bit. It certainly is necessary, but I think that having a head sculpt of his father would be necessary as well. However, I think it's because this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that they're not including that. They tend to try to not sculpt that much, especially head sculpts. They very rarely will do like a new head sculpt for a San Diego Comic-Con figure. So overall, like I know why they didn't include one, but if you're gonna do the figure, you might as well do the figure right, and I think that head sculpt is kind of necessary. This figure, I think is going to be a little pricey too, and considering it is an exclusive. Usually with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, they bump up the price a little bit because they are exclusives, so that is definitely a shame, because this is a figure that I don't see many people really clamoring for. I think that there's better choices of characters to make in the MCU if they wanted to make some San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figure, and even if they wanted to do specifically a character from Black Panther, they should do Shuri, T'Challa's sister. I think that she's quite a popular character, and with those guns that she has a action-packed type of look, which would translate well into a figure form. Or Okoye. Actually, Okoye is the much smarter one, right? Yeah, she would be much better to do, featured in heavily in Black Panther, and then of course in Infinity War as well. Yeah, she would definitely be necessary. So I think that there's just better characters that they could have done from the Black Panther movie. However, I think they picked him simply because it means that they wouldn't have to sculpt a new body. They would really just have to sculpt a few new articles of clothing, a bracelet, and then a new head sculpt, or a new helmeted head sculpt. So it's kind of limited work on their part, which is a shame because it's certainly not the figure that anybody really asked for from Black Panther, and they're neglecting to do the other figures that have been asked for from Black Panther. So that is quite disappointing, I must admit. But overall, the figure itself does look decent. Definitely lacking a head sculpt, but the figure itself looks quite nice. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this new chaka figure, and thanks so much for watching.